They have always marched to the beat of their own drum. Their lives are not significantly affected by how others shift around them. A Sigma man is his own man. We've heard about the alpha male. He is brash and loud and is obviously the boss of the pack. Then there is the beta, capable but willing to take the sidelines. So, who is this Sigma guy?
Shalom, my people. I am Sigma Male Wolf, and this is Who's Out of Order. Known Who's Out of Order, what I do is I react to videos and news stories, then I tell you who I think is out of order. It could be one person, could be 2, 3, 4, or maybe more. Or it could be none. But it's my opinion, and that's the bottom line. All right, my people, we have a news story here today from CNN, and it is titled, Memphis Firefighters Union defends EMTs in Tyre Nichols case. Says they weren't given adequate information. But the thing is, here's my thing. I saw the video. Even if they didn't tell y'all, what y'all needed to know, when you came to the scene, I saw with my own eyes the EMT standing there looking at him. They saw his face. You should know something is wrong at this point, and you should spring into action. I saw the black dude saying, "Come on, man, tell me what you took. Tell me what you took. I can't help you unless you tell me what you took." As you can see, his face was battered in. He took punches. He took kicks. He took pepper spray. That's what he took. He took an ass beating. And you standing there looking at him, trying to get him to talk instead of trying to at least do something. Man, let's get into this story. The president of the Firefighters Union in Memphis, Tennessee, is defending the actions of the EMTs involved in the Tyre Nichols case. In a letter to the Memphis City Council, Thomas Malone, president of the Memphis Fire Fighters Association, said his members were not given adequate information upon dispatch or upon arrival on the scene, where Nichols, a 29-year-old black man, had been repeatedly punched and kicked by police after a traffic stop on January 7th. So even if you wasn't given adequate information, I still say that with your experience, you should be able to notice that a man has been beaten. Quite frankly, there was information withheld by those already on the scene which caused our members to handle things differently than they should have, Malone suggested. Yeah, you can suggest that, but man, we ain't falling for it. We're not falling for it. We're not falling for it. And they were, they're probably EMTs that are used to running up on this Scorpion unit. And they used to them whooping somebody's ass. They just haven't had anybody die on them yet. So they probably was numb to it too. Just how like the police officers were acting. Some people would like to say that it was more of a personal thing. I say that it was routine. That's what the Scorpion unit did, is they beat people ass. 3 Memphis Fire Department personnel were fired for failing to render emergency care during the January 7th incident. CNN obtained the letter from Memphis City Council member Dr. Jeff Warren. CNN has reached out to both Malone and Ben Crump, an attorney for the Nichols family, and has yet to hear back. Malone also said he was disheartened to see some of the members of the 1,600 employee department criticizing fellow members during a city council meeting last week. I mean, how can you not criticize what we saw in that video? You should be criticizing it too, my man. Come on, I know you want to back your EMTs, man, but you should know. Like, let's say they ran up on a car accident and somebody couldn't talk. Do they not render aid? Do they not just render aid at that point? Do you say, "Oh man, hey, if you can't tell me how you got in the accident, then I can't help you"? No, they spring right into action. Our members respond to hundreds and hundreds of calls over and over without fail. One incident should not define the good work being done by these dedicated public servants, and some have taken that position, unfortunately, he said. Memphis Fire Chief Gina Sweat told the council that training issues and the failure of EMTs to take personal accountability on a call to blame for her department's handling of the Nichols case. That's what I'm saying, Gina. That's what I've been saying. They gotta take personal accountability. Y'all pull up to the scene, you see the man's face, and you should be trying to help him. That's all I'm saying. And then from what I hear, the supervisor didn't even get out of the ambulance or whatever they were in. Emergency medical technician Robert Long and Jamichael Sandridge and Fire Lieutenant Michelle Whitaker were fired, the fire department announced last month. An investigation concluded that the two EMTs failed to conduct an adequate patient assessment. Yes, that's what I've been saying on Mr. Nichols. Yes. Yep. They failed to conduct an adequate patient assessment. So when you standing there and you're looking at this man, face swell up in front of you, bleeding, handcuffed, and can barely talk, why don't you just spring into action? That's the oath you took. Oh, okay. Where was I? Let's go back. Let's see. An investigation concluded that the two EMTs failed to conduct an adequate patient assessment on Mr. Nichols. After responding based on both the initial call, which they heard a person was pepper sprayed. Yeah, I mean, why didn't you treat for that at least? Do something. Where a person was pepper sprayed. And information they were told at the scene, Sweat said in the news release. Whitaker had remained in the fire truck, according to the chief's statement. Man, the truck carrying the EMTs arrived about 8:41 p.m. when Nichols was on the ground leaning against the police vehicle, the fire department said. An ambulance was called at 8:46 p.m., the department said. The ambulance arrived at 8:55 p.m. and left with Nichols 13 minutes later, according to the fire department. Oh, man. Poll camera video shows that between the time the EMTs arrived and the ambulance arrived, first responders repeatedly walked away from Nichols, with Nichols intermediately falling on to his side. The video shows it, man. Y'all did nothing. Y'all did nothing to help this man. Nothing. You are partly responsible. I don't care what the police officers told you. when you show up to the scene, you should know better than they do. You should know that man needed help. Now, I'm not sure if he was already, because the swelling on his brain, I'm not sure if he was already messed up and it was too late. But y'all could have at least tried to save the man's life. And that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. All right. Now, the show is called Who's Out of Order. And on Who's Out of Order, what I do is I react to videos and news stories. Then I tell you who I think is out of order. It's obvious. The EMTs, the two guys that were standing there. What's the name? Jamichael and somebody else. Robert. But, yeah, I think their names was Robert and Jamichael. Well, Robert and Jamichael. Yeah, Robert Long and Jamichael Sandridge. You two were standing there looking at this man. You stood there, looked at him, saw that he was messed up, and you still did not react. So I think you're partly responsible for his death. Now, do I think you need to be put up on charges? I really don't think that. But I do think that you probably should have lost your jobs. I do think that. And Miss Michelle Whitaker, Lieutenant Michelle Whitaker, did not get her ass out of the fire truck. Now, what was more important than you being a lieutenant to come around and say, hey, we need to get this dude to the hospital? Because clearly you can look at him and tell he needs to be in the emergency room. That's where he needs to be. Instead of laying in the street or leaned up against a car in handcuffs and head swelling up like a watermelon. So you not getting out of the fire truck, I think is worse than these two standing there looking at you. Because that just showed pure laziness. Pure laziness. So I'll keep up with the story. So if you like this video, hit the like button. And let me know what you think. Leave comments. And make sure on your way out, you hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. That way, every time a new video comes out, you are notified. So with that, I'm going to say peace and be one.